Let's talk about some news that's been front and center in the NBA. Let's start with Ja Morant. Because we've seen again another incident here this month. Instagram Live, apparently brandishing a handgun. And so, Kenny, you tell me, what would be appropriate punishment?
Well, I think before we get to punishment, Ernie, I think we need to understand the situation and the levity of the situation. A lot of people say, well, you know, what did he do? He flashed a gun. Some people have been saying there, and then other people are saying, hey, this guy is flashing a gun, and that's serious offense. The NBA has a morality clause that in everyone's contract. Let's start there. That expresses about violence, racism, all types of different things that can be considered morality. Flashing guns will be part of that. And when Adam Silver brings you in the office and says, we're going to suspend you a game, and this is part of the morality clause, why you're going to do it, then you do it again, there's something wrong with you. I hear a lot also, Charles and Shaq, about, oh, he's got to get new friends. It gets to a point, it's not your friends, it's you. It isn't your friends. Or maybe you're the friend that they shouldn't be around because you have the access, the power, and the money. And Ja Morant is just at a point in his life where he has to make a decision. Am I going to hold myself accountable to a higher standard? And if he chooses to do that, he can move on because he hasn't hurt anyone to this point yet. He has only looked foolish. That's his only crime right now, is being foolish and possibly influencing NBA followers. The next step is something happens. And because he's putting himself in a world where you're saying, I'm flashing guns because I'm going to use them. And there are people out here in this world that look for target people like Ja Morant. It's okay. You want to be that? Let's see if you're really about that. Because you do have a lot of access that we don't have, and those people in those world. And that's where Ja Morant has to make that decision himself. So punishment is always going to be accountable. Whatever he gets from Adam Silver, but his inability to understand that it's him, it's not his friends. So I don't want to hear everyone talk, oh, his friends, and he needs it. It's him who's making that decision. And we've all had friends that are influenced positively and negatively.
Well, first of all, I got to say something, man. We got some idiots, some fools, some jackasses on television that really just piss me off, talking about Ja should make a stand saying he didn't break any laws. He didn't do anything wrong. We're in a state where you can carry your gun. Those guys are just freaking idiots. And I only say freaking because y'all won't let me say what I want to say.
We don't care for it.
It pisses me off when I hear guys say that, yo, man, when you're making $100 million a year to play sports, your life changes. There are certain rules and regulations you have to live by, plain and simple. You can't do stupid stuff. That's the trade-off. Now, if you want to do all that stuff and give all that money back, more power to you. You can make that stand. Say, you know what? I want to do what I want to do. I want to flash my gun and make videos and do things. Okay, that's fine. But you can't make money on the NBA doing this stuff. I just hope that he grows up and realizes, like, yo, man, first of all, you're not a thug. You're not a criminal. You're not a crook. You're a guy making $100 million a year to dribble a stupid, $200 million to dribble a stupid basketball. And you hit the lottery. We all hit the lottery to do something. There's people out there work 9 to 5, 8 and 9 hours a week, gonna make $25,000 a year. They would kill to be in our situation. And, you know, Kenny's right. At some point, it's not your friends. Bill Parcells used to always say, and I love it, he says, yo, man, you're just an unlucky dude. Bad stuff happen around you all the time. You're just an unlucky dude. No, man. You got to look in the mirror and say, yo, you know what? Maybe I'm the problem. And it's disappointing because the kid's a great player, but to be a fool already, then be a bigger fool a couple months later, and this is like your fifth or sixth gun thing. And like I say, hey, I'm a gun guy. But I don't understand why you're flashing it. My bodyguard teaching me, man, if you touch your gun, you better shoot somebody. It ain't for everybody to know you got. And he riding around with, I guess he think he with Antoine Fuqua and Steven Spielberg. You got your friends, quote friends, filming you. They're idiots too. And I'm just sad, Ernie, because it's a bad look.
It's disappointing. I'll get to you in a second, Shaq. I think it's disappointing too, given the fact that after that first meeting with the commissioner and a very contrite-sounding Ja Morant after that. Look, I have to learn from this, and I have to move on. And
Ernie, there's a lot of contrite people in prison right now that could give you a great story.
Can I finish? And that's what's disappointing. The conduct is disappointing, and I just feel like he's tried to put a foot in two worlds. And when you try to put a foot in this one, and in this one's almost like you got a foot in this boat and a foot in this boat, and it's gonna end in a bad way.
No question.
I said last time, we can do things to put ourselves in jeopardy. Last time the incident happened, there was a mistake, and I'm trying to explain to people the difference between a mistake and a choice. Oh, that's a mistake. But if I think about it and decide to punch you, that's a choice. He made a choice to pull his phone out the first time when he in the club with no shirt on, to hit the live button, wait for it to connect, and do what he did. His friend made a choice the second time to hit the live button. He saw the camera in his face. He made the choice not thinking. He has to understand there's written laws and unwritten laws. Do what you like, right? But Chuck makes a great point. Kenny makes a great point. And a lot of people arguing, a lot of these idiots arguing, they never heard the term morality clause. But you're in a $1 billion corporation now. You can't do that. There's an unwritten law. You can't do that, right? You can't do it. And not only that, you got kids looking up to you, brother. Kids want to be like you. Ever since the absence of the other guy, they're talking about you having the highest selling sneaker. Like you have a responsibility, right? Charles, when he was saying I'm not a role model, he's not a role model. But one thing I like about Charles is he's honest. He says what's on his mind, and he's a kind person. So when you're in that position, you got a responsibility. And again, the two times that got himself in trouble, him and his boy made the choice to show the world what he was doing. You don't hit that button, we don't know what you're doing in Memphis.
Yeah, I agree with Shaq in that regard.
We don't know what you're doing in Memphis.
And he had another point. Most of the people that's going to talk about this, with the exception of maybe these two guys up here, and in some part, I could take some part of that, have never been responsible or solely responsible for a multi-billion-dollar corporation. If Shaquille O'Neal gets hurt when he's a Los Angeles Lakers, the Lakers lose billions of dollars. If Ja Morant does something, the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA loses. No one talking has ever been in that position. And unless you've been in that position, you understand the responsibility that comes with that, other than only the written law, what Shaq said.
And Ernie, go ahead. In part of our life, there's things in our contract, like simple things, not even getting to the gun thing. Hey, you can't skydive. You can't ski.
Yes.
You can't skydive. You can't ride a motorcycle. And every fool at home would say, wait, y'all gonna give me $100 million and all I gotta do is not drive around with a gun, no motorcycle, no skiing. Like, oh, I want that job. And that's part of the stuff. But, man, I'm seeing these fools on television talking about he should hold his ground, talking about I didn't break any laws. I'm like, see, you guys ain't never made no money. So y'all can say, I want to make a point. Hell no, I want that $100, $200 billion.
And my last point, to come from where we all come from, to have little kids scream your name and look up to you, you should understand that. That's power. That's real power. So now, also in the communities that we live in and things that we go through, when a kid looks up to you, you're the reason he's going to get out. You know why I'm here? Dr. J. You know why I'm here? Charles Barkley. You know why I'm here? When I was in San Antonio, David Robinson. I could have done all that stuff, but because those guys right there, how they conducted themselves, how they play, it made me want to do it. So John has to realize that him and his family, you got all these kids looking up to you, just do the right thing.